The food shortages and World War I disaster caused the Russian Tsar to abdicate in early 1917. In October 1917, Vladimir Lenin and his radical communist Bolshevik Party seized power in a coup. A brutal five-year war erupted between the communist Reds and the anti-communist Whites. The Reds won, and in 1922 they officially formed the Union of Soviet Socialist Republics, USSR. Lenin died in 1924, and Joseph Stalin outmaneuvered his rivals to take absolute control. Stalin seized all private farmland, forcing peasants onto state-run collective farms. Resistance to farming seizures caused man-made famines, killing millions, particularly in Ukraine. Stalin forced rapid, brutal industrialization to build factories, dams, and steel mills. Paralyzed by paranoia, Stalin executed or imprisoned millions of political rivals, military officers, and ordinary citizens in Gulag labor camps. Stalin signed a non-aggression pact with Adolf Hitler in 1939, but Nazi Germany invaded the USSR in 1941. The Soviets suffered catastrophic losses but turned the tide at the Battle of Stalingrad. Soviet troops captured Berlin in 1945, ending the war in Europe at the cost of an estimated 27 million Soviet lives. The USSR set up communist puppet governments across Eastern Europe, starting the Cold War with the West. Stalin died in 1953, and Nikita Khrushchev took over and denounced Stalin's cult of personality. Khrushchev's censorship released millions from the gulags and preached peaceful coexistence with the West. The USSR shocked the world by launching the first satellite, Sputnik, in 1957 and the first human into space, Yuri Gagarin, in 1961. Hidden tensions boiled over, bringing the world to the edge of nuclear war during the 1962 Cuban Missile Crisis. Leonid Brezhnev ousted Khrushchev, ending political liberalization and cracking down on dissidents. The Soviet economy stalled as massive corruption grew and central planners failed to produce basic consumer goods. The government poured all money into the military to match U.S. power, leaving citizens in long lines for bread and shoes. The USSR invaded Afghanistan in 1979, trapping itself in a costly, unwinnable guerrilla war. Mikhail Gorbachev took power in 1985, inheriting a bankrupt and rotting system. Gorbachev tried to revitalize the economy by introducing small elements of free market capitalism through perestroika. He allowed free speech and political debate through glasnost, accidentally exposing decades of government lies and crimes. Instead of fixing communism, freedom of speech allowed long-suppressed ethnic and nationalist anger to explode across the 15 Soviet republics. In 1989, the Berlin Wall fell, and Soviet control over Eastern Europe vanished almost overnight. In August 1991, communist hardliners tried to overthrow Gorbachev to restore total control, but the coup failed due to massive public protests. The individual republics led by Russia and Ukraine declared independence. On December 25, 1991, Gorbachev resigned, the Soviet flag was lowered from the Kremlin, and the USSR officially ceased to exist.